Because we got
Don't hate. Okay, we're live. We're recording.
Okay.
I usually am pretty self-sufficient on the grids. We're talking,
You're
if
great.
anybody's watching us right now, we're talking about what my particular job is. Publishers put out these lists of what they call grids, which are prospective authors that will be touring. And then I write little things that say, but I'm pretty self-sufficient on it. I don't take up too much of your time on those.
You
things.
don't
None of
take
my
up any.
time.
You're great. You're
Yeah.
great, Julie.
Take up any of my time, you would have heard about
Exactly. I don't know. I would have been smacked down.
Julie, I'd
No,
appreciate
I
that.
would have. What would have happened is I would have been crickets. It would have been radio silence. It would have been like, you're on your own. Have fun with that. All right, we've got Andrea back after a long absence. As you see in her background there, she was in New York City. That's the view from the offices, the Two Rivers IPS offices that are in New York. So that was her view for a few days, I'm assuming, Andrea.
Yeah, about 4 days, hearing about the incredible spring list and a wide array of books we have to talk about a little bit later.
Awesome. And then Gabe's back after a couple weeks absence. Always good to have Gabe back. Yoo-hoo. And then Julian's here. Yay. All right. I've been reading, it's not your book, anybody, but it's Shannon's book. So I got to get Shannon back on here. Amanda, I know you're listening, Amanda. I think I sent you a thing telling you that you should either download it or try to get, it's called The Ministry of Time. Okay. It's described as a time travel romance spy thriller. So it's pretty much got everything, but it's done really well. I'm absolutely enjoying every moment of it. So I think it's not coming out till like May of next year. So I'm sure we'll be talking lots about it next year. But Amanda, if you can get yourself a copy of it, I think you would like it. Okay, let's see. I got to get Gabe in order to this so he can share his screen. So it's going to go Gabe, Andrea, Julia. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. So people should have some extra time this week to, read some books after Thanksgiving. So let's give them some good stuff to talk about. So, Gabe, we'll start
I'm going
us
to
off.
be very, very brief this week. I'm going to start with an old favorite. This is book 4 in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. And you'd think, it would slow down a little bit. And they have, some of them have slowed down. But honestly, the first book, in the business, we have what we call our frontlist books. And those are the books that are just landing like right now that are new and they go out. And then you have your backlist books, which are things like The Prophet and Jonathan Livingston Seagull. But I'm really dating myself. So books that nobody will, 100 Years of Solitude or something like that. So the first book, which we published like 3 years ago, is selling like a frontlist book for us still very, very well. It's a very well received series. The format is they're really small books, published in Japan originally, and the premise of the stories, Before the Coffee Gets Cold was the first, and the premise of all of them is a small coffee shop in this back alley in Tokyo. It is visitors can go there and have a cup of coffee. You order your cup of coffee, and between the time that you start drinking your coffee and your coffee gets cold, you have a chance to revisit a moment in time that you want to relive, re-experience, reconnect. There are a lot of reasons for why people do this. So that's what makes the books interesting, I think. They're kind of the same, whatever, but everybody's got different motivations. So they seem to work really short, usually 4, 5 stories, different characters that come through there, and you run through them really quick. And they become beloved little.
They're really good. There really is. I read the first one. I haven't read the subsequent ones, but I loved the first one. I just loved everything about it. The premise was.
By surprise. Got a lot of us by surprise who were like, I'm just going to look at this and I'm sure I'll put it down. And you're just like, oh, you feel something a little bit. So
yeah, really good. So good. Excellent thing to give as a gift. Because it really is one of those, if you just like kind of like, I don't know what somebody likes to read. Easy,
very positive,
very positive,
upbeat, uplifting.
Yep.
I'm not going to say like a Hallmark movie, but
no. It's not sappy, but they're
sappy. They're warm,
right?
They're positive, they're warm, they're uplifting.
Yeah, really good.
And they made and the motivation is always fun to see.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I got a little note from Diane here for Julia. Gratitude for Julia for the fatty boom boom. Also nearly finished with the Great Reclamation by That's Tom's. Plan to recommend that. Well, yeah, that's a really good one. Tom, unfortunately, not unfortunately, well, unfortunately for us, but fortunately for him, he's in Paris right now. So we're not feeling too sorry for Tom.
And he just got back from Madrid or Barcelona, so don't feel at all sorry for Tom.
Yeah, we're not feeling too bad, but Great Reclamation is his book, so we'll make sure we tell him about that. You love that one too, because.
And I'm glad you love Fatty Boom Boom.
Yeah,
it's great. So I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, love that. Still love that. That title's the best. Okay, Andrea, what do you got for us?
I am very excited to
yes.
present what is now becoming an annual event, a new Claire Keegan book, so late in the day, Stories of Women and Men. So there is these stories are about the tension between men and women linked in romance, and sometimes hellishness. So, and of course, this is on the heels of the other two, Small Things Like These and Foster, and look at how good that looks. Like that looks great on the shelves. It will look great on your shelves at home. And what a great little gift book for the holidays. Claire Keegan is really just one of the great contemporary writers. She's Irish, and I mean, people are saying things like, Dennis Lehane says Claire Keegan is my favorite writer in the world. George Saunders, simply put, Claire Keegan is one of the greatest fiction writers in the world. Her work is keenly important to me just now. Everything she writes moves me and makes the world flash alive anew for days after. And Keegan's been a Booker Prize finalist, and she keeps on just really giving us some great work. Short stories and now the novella are her. That's where she
domain.
Excels.
Yeah,
that's where she excels, and aren't we glad? She may write a full-length novel someday, but hey, we'll take these because they are just masterful, and she's brilliant. And I mean, you guys you've been like just shoveling books out the door. People have been coming in. You've already sold a lot. You have a big stack still in the store, so people know who she is. You cannot resist this cover. And I think this is going to continue to sell well as the holiday crush becomes more tangible.
Yep. And you know what? I don't necessarily need a hey, who's
sorry, I think I messed up.
Gabe, what are you like? We're talking cooking and now we're naked in the ride share. It's
sorry, I don't know what I did here.
I don't know what you did either. I'm starting to there we go.
Oh.
I still want to talk about Claire Keegan, and you gotta wait for Julia's turn too. Patience, my friend.
No, you know what? I want to talk about Claire Keegan too, because Deb and I were in a bookstore. We walked into a bookstore, and I was just like I walked in and I looked up, and there was what looked like a new Claire Keegan book, like way across the room, that little tiny thing, and it was like beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
Let me grab this real quick.
Exactly.
And I was having dinner with Willie Bloughton in Portland about a month ago. And, I love Willie Bloughton's writing. I love all his books. And Claire Keegan comes up. He's like, who I really like is Claire Keegan. Has anybody read her? And it's like, oh, everybody's read her. But she's that good that like writers, like Andrea was saying, every writer is.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and she crosses. Okay. So first of all, Andrea, you'll love to know, we have all three of them on the counter front and center because they're just these perfect packages that go together. And they're just like, it's just, talk about a great gift. All three of those together would be an awesome gift.
Yeah. And, small things like these, the first in that series, is A Christmas Story,
Right.
so.
So my daughter, who's 30, who is a voracious reader, she's a copywriter, she's, reads across multiple genres. She just the other day says to me, Mom, have you heard of Claire Keegan? It's like, oh, yes, I have.
That is so great to hear that her star is rising in America.
In the younger generation too, which I think is really, I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I started selling her, like 25 years ago, like when I started as a rep, and one of those
Yeah.
first seasons. And I actually found a faxed note from her then editor who brought her to Grove, the great Joan Bingham, now deceased. But she was a force of nature, and she had a really good eye. And it's just a really beautiful note that I got from her because, I was, an early admirer. And so,
Devotee.
I'm happy about that. I'm happy
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
I got to sell her when no one knew who she was. So,
But like I said, though, the short story and the novellas, those are actually, I think, harder to write well. And she's just a master.
it's a very hard form.
Yeah.
It is a hard form to,
To
like,
evoke what
but-
she evokes out of you as a reader. It's
Yeah.
just, it's amazing. So if you haven't read Claire Keegan, you can start anywhere with her. Read them all. You won't be sorry. Okay, Julia, did you like my little name drop for Gabe that I was?
It did.
Gabe, I don't think noticed.
Just Gabe dropped something.
I saw you raise your eyebrows. I mean, Willie's not like that. Willie's not that big a name for everybody.
Well, to some of us he is, but
he's big in Europe.
There you go.
I love it.
Well, my first book is a big daddy. It is Bob Dylan's Mixing Up the Medicine, or Bob Dylan Mixing Up Medicine, which is this like tome compendium of all of Bob Dylan's recordings, all of his albums, and sort of throughout his life. Like there's the biographical information. It's like $100 big hardcover paper board, beautiful book. So for anyone who's a Dylan completist, this is a must-have. This is all comes from the archives that he donated to oh gosh, I'm gonna forget the name of the library. The Bob Dylan Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So the two people who put together this book work there. They work on all his archives. He donated, so you see his, as you can see here, his handwriting throughout, him going through sort of like all of these different things, whether it's notebooks, whether it's like these tambourines, whatever it is, through the archives. It goes through his entire life as an artist and a musician. You also have these great essays from other artists, so this one from Peter Carey, talking about what Bob Dylan means to them, and sort of what Bob Dylan means to the world. As you can see, it's 608 pages, so it's a big daddy, but I think it's a great gift. I was at Vroman's last night and at a VIP night that they had, and people were just like pouring over it. And so that's one that I think for holidays, a great gift. If you're looking for sort of a bigger gift for someone who's a big Bob Dylan fan. So,
or the me shopping.
Yeah. Shopping for yourself.
Shop for yourself. Treat yourself to this one.
Exactly.
Because don't wait for somebody to buy it for you. Buy it for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Looks like that looks amazing.
Yeah. It's an impressive book. It's really impressive how they put it together, and sort of like how much information is in it, and how much of that information comes from Dylan himself, in a way that I think a lot of other Dylan books haven't really had access to all these archives, and all this stuff that they have access to. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabe, now we can talk about being naked in the rideshare.
Well, guess what? Since
you switched it out on us?
I spoiled it, but I always keep backups in my hip pocket.
Oh, so you're not going to tell us about it? Come on.
Maybe I'll just tease a little bit.
Good.
Where am I? What happened? What happened? What happened? Sorry, sometimes I don't know what happens that it disappears off the page. Back to Zoom. So this book comes with a parental
Warning.
warning,
Love it.
danger.
Danger.
I don't, nobody sees it here because I'm the ultimate professional, but occasionally I'm a potty mouth. There's people who just curse when they talk. My family, that's how we talk. There's people like that. Their families like that, believe it or not. We can't just say, I gotta go to school. I gotta go to blank in school or anything like that. Everything is always highlighted a little bit. So when this book came my way, I think this, and y'all got a friend like that, love them or hate them. You've all got a friend like that. And this book, it's Beatrix Potty Mouths and Paul Majors writing A Tale of Toxic Positivity. And it is basically Beatrix Potty Mouth heads off to the country and is looking to spend some time in a rural setting, in a lovely landscape, communing with nature. And she gets there and it's getting close to spring. And what happens at every spring? Everybody comes out of hibernation. The animals come out. They're reproducing. They're doing their thing. And what we don't see as the average viewer is that these animals sort of come into this world when they come full bloom. They haven't been associated. They haven't been social or anything. They all been either quarantined or huddled up together or sleeping. So it takes them a while to get the engine running. So they are just absolute maniacs when they come out into the real world. And this is her first impression of the country is a cat saying, it's definitely wine o'clock. And then a frog, the fishing is shit. I wonder if anyone's up for a shag. It's very British. It's very British. If we can't have any fun, what's the effing point of any of it? So there's just these little vignettes of these various Beatrix Potter-like characters because they're not the character. And it's very, very funny. I was at a bookstore the other day. This woman came in and I heard Deborah talking to her. She was looking for something that for her daughter-in-law who doesn't read certain things, and she's got a lot of gaps, this woman apparently, but mother was looking for something that would be funny and entertaining, and they tore the store up. And at one point Deborah says, wait a minute, I just got this in, and she's like, oh, that's perfect. So it's cute, it's very vulgar, but it's very, very funny. I thought it was very, very funny. And it's little bits and pieces. It makes some great postcards and cards and things.
I love it. Now, did they get, I tell you, didn't have to go through the Beatrix Potter
you don't have
approval,
to know
approval process to get approval to use.
Right. Let's see. I was trying to see if it was approved by the estate, but I probably wasn't.
Probably not, but I kind of love it. What a great idea, though.
I found it hilarious, and it's our imprint where we import these small things. They also did the dinosaur philosophy and
Okay,
those little dinosaur therapy books that are hilarious and flying off the shelves. And every once in a while they do something really, really cool.
great
really,
stocking
really
stuffer for that older child.
Yeah, if you're a bibliophile, if you're an Anglophile, if you got that friend who curses, it's funny. If you like somebody who likes something very, very funny and semi-traditional.
I love it. It's a good one. So you said they're like postcard things, so you could like pull them out and like.
No, I think it would make a good postcard.
Good postcard. Yeah. I love it.
It really is hilarious.
It's quite funny.
Yeah, nailed
I mean,
it.
I couldn't read the best bits, but with the language in it, I would have to be beeping myself. What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? It's like that's why I don't like watching movies that are on regular TV. It's like, give me the cussing. Bring the cussing on.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, Andrea, what do you got?
Okay. I want to talk about this book, Winter Solstice, an essay. It's a slender little book by Nina McLaughlin. This is a follow-up to her Summer Solstice essay. And this is from Black Sparrow Press, which is an imprint of the great David R. Godine. and Boxborough Press, of course, has a storied history of its own from back in the day. McLaughlin, just like anything that she writes about in the natural world is just like rendered like incredibly gorgeously. And the first book, Summer Solstice, we couldn't keep it in stock, kept on selling out. And it's a cute little smaller format gifty book that looks great on the counter, easy to pick up. And it's printed on a little bit kind of like a creamy and heavier stock paper. So it just is like a nice little object. They've done a really great job on it. The author of World of Wonders that Milkweed Editions published a while ago, and I talked about, I don't know, probably about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. She says Nina McLaughlin returns to celebrate the winter solstice and delivers a most sensual hymn and harbor for the human ability to feel our way through the darkness towards wise, unexpected connection. This ethereal collection offers us a candle at night. It's an astonishing gift, and it really truly is, and it would make a nice gift during the holiday. And I mean, it's just like this beautiful celebration and meditation on everything that makes winter special, you know, from the mundane really of drinking hot chocolate, or you know, like looking at the wreaths on your neighbor's doors, like, you know, when no one's really looking at night, stuff like that. Or just, you know, observing the change in light as the seasons change at the solstice period. And it just covers, you know, the whole gamut of meteorological, you know, mythological, to, like I said, more of like, you know, mundane human observations and our modes of being during the winter. And it's just, I think it's just a phenomenally written little volume, $14.95 trade paper. And I just, how can you not pick this up for somebody? I mean, I just think anyone who's like interested in the natural world and like small little literary books is gonna love this. So good for anybody really on your gift giving lists.
I love the cover too. It's a really good cover.
Yeah.
Really evokes that winter solstice feeling for sure. Love it. Okay, Julia.
Okie doke. My next one is a novel that came out in May. I sort of this week thought, you know, since Friday is Black Friday, I thought, you know, I would put up some things that I don't know if were missed. This came out before I worked at Hachette, so you know, I don't know if people saw it or not. So it's just a few little. This is one of my books that I think is a great gift for people. This novel, it's Goodnight Irene by Luis Alberto Urrea, who is a stunningly good writer. Both his fiction and nonfiction are both incredibly good. This one had great reception, starred reviews in Publishers Weekly and Kirkus, and was an Indie Next pick when it came out. It's based partially on his mother. So you can see here, these are photos of Luis's mother, who was part of this Red Cross donut dollies like program, where these women were on the front lines in a bunch of the big battles in World War II, and were bringing sort of donuts and camaraderie and you know, trying to bring good cheer to the men on the front lines during World War II. It's based on, like I said, his mother's life, but then also it's a great novel. There's a little bit of romance in it. There's some amazing, I mean, he's such a great character builder, and he's such a great, he sort of writes such great description of place and time, and sort of sets you in that place and time. And I'm like a person who I need to be convinced to read some of the World War II fiction. I just, it's like a lot for me. And so there's just a lot of it out there. So like, and this just, I tore through it. It's
Yep.
so good. It's such a beautiful novel. I think it's a great gift for oneself, but I also think it's a great gift for people. If you are looking for a book to give to someone for a gift, a novel to give to someone for a gift, I think this is a really great one.
Yep. And Kim's on here saying Urea is one of her always reads authors. And this was another good book from him. We hosted him back when this came out. He's amazing. He is just his stories. He's quite the actor when he does his stories. So if you ever have the chance to see him live, he's really fun in person too. So if he's ever in your area or close by, go see Luis in person, because it's always a really entertaining evening. And he's from San Diego and Tijuana too. His family's in Tijuana. So we always get a lot of the family that shows up at our event. So it is quite and all his old high school friends. So it's really a fun event hosting him.
That's fun.
He's awesome.
Yeah. He's a great writer. Yeah. I had only read his nonfiction, and this was really a
Hummingbird's Daughter was one of the first. Was the first thing I read of his, and I loved it. It was so good.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe, we're on our lightning round. We're blowing through it today.
Blowing through. I was gonna make a comment, but I didn't want to be accused of name dropping.
So wait. I got you.
I'll just move on.
You dropped something, Gabe.
You dropped something
Again. No, we'll just move on.
Come on, now you're gonna tease us.
Well, if you guys don't, I'm not gonna be an object of ridicule because I'm so well connected. 36 years, man. No, Luis is just, he's a local boy, so he's one of my always gonna read. And you know what? It's like, damn it, why you gotta write such big books?
Yeah.
Because you gotta carve out the time, and it's, when you're a bookseller, it's Claire Keegan, baby. I love it.
Right.
Because she packs a punch and it's 74 pages or whatever it is,
Yeah.
Like Deborah says, she uses the same words we do, but what does she do with them?
I know.
But Luis gives you that. It's like, oh man, I got to carve out the time.
But it's so worth it.
He's always worth it.
This one's not super huge. It reads fast.
Amanda's on here. Thought Gabe was going to say that Luis is coming over for Thanksgiving.
No, he's in Chicago. Who knows where he is? That guy travels more than anybody I know.
And he's based in Chicago.
He's always on the road.
Yeah.
He's always on the road. I'm going to talk about Lightning Round because this is one of my favorite books of the year. Last year, We All Want Impossible Things is out in paperback last week. It's for those who don't remember, which is why I'm bringing it up in paperback, and then you can buy one for all your friends. It's 274 pages. It's a delight. It is one of those little books that you read, and the story, the narrative is great. The characters are outstanding. The telling is really strong. It's a good literary novel that's very accessible. There's like no flaws in this little novel. It's two lifelong friends. One of them develops cancer, and the other friend comes along with her. They're little past middle age and getting on with their lives, and they come together for better or worse, and all these things. It reminded me a little bit of what Elena Ferrante did with my the first book and the relationship book. But that relationship, I think what was so strong about my
brilliant
friend was the relationship and how she one of those characters was a terrible person, man. and they had likes and they disliked each other at certain times in their lives. So your friends are not perfect, and that really comes up in here. But the dynamic of this friendship that's really strong, I just thought was beautiful. I thought it was a real lovely novel. I'm really excited. We got a new novel coming in the summer. And it's also very good. So keep your eye out for Catherine Newman, and in paperback, pick her up, pass her around. You'll be thanked.
Beth Doherty's on here, and she read this, Gabe, and said it was terrific.
Right?
This one, yeah. So
it packs a punch.
Yep. Okay, Andrea, what do you got for us?
Thanks,
for Lightning
Round? Lightning Round. I'm so excited that I finally get to talk about this book. I have been an evangelist for it since it first was announced. The Colors of Life, early color photography enhanced by Stuart Humphreys. This guy is known for his work with archival photography images, a lot of, and this book is basically, he's enhanced early color photograph from basically the first 15 or 20 years of the 20th century. And they were color, there were color plates. So they were like autochrome prints and something called Paget plates. And he's basically just taken these archival photographs and just enhanced them a little bit. That's the cover. So that you can really get a feel for what they look like originally. Look at these. I mean, like, it's just unbelievable. And I mean, like the sense of, I mean, these photographers were seriously skilled, like, you know, like they were doing high art. Okay, this is fine art. This is not just a snapshot that they, and you know, and it makes sense because it was an expensive, you know, production, that, you know, it was hard to like get the cameras, but also like the plates were expensive. And very painterly. This is amazing. Yeah. Look at this. This one of the balloons, that's the Paris World's Fair. And then, you know, bathers on the seashore. This is incredible. Here's like you know, the ship stuck in the ice. Gosh, what's the guy's name from
Shackleton. No?
Yeah, thank you. I was just talking about this. I actually sold that book like a million years ago. But yeah, I mean, just incredible, this stuff. This shot is, I think, one of my favorites.
That's
In
great.
the book. I mean, it is so painterly. And just like the sense of like everybody seemed to like have like totally understand like composition, right? And this is a $75 book. 256 pages from Gestalten, one of our German publishers. And I saw a finished copy at the offices in New York City, and boy, does it deliver. It's absolutely stunning. Anybody who's interested in photography and the history of photography, but also just the history of the early 20th century, mainly through the lens of European photographers. There was just more people that had access to these plates. They're gonna love this as a gift. And there's stock in right now in sorry, I should stop sharing. There's stock right now at Warwick's, and I really hope that you pick this book up and enjoy it, because I just think it's something special.
Yeah,
so.
it is beautiful. In fact, Kim, who's one of our buyers, loves this book. She talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's amazing. It is an amazing book.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad that she was actually advocating for that one whilst I was gone.
She was working for you. She loves that book.
Awesome. Yeah, good. I hope we can keep it in stock. I keep on looking at the stock, and it's like, will we have stock through the holidays? So,
yeah, I know, because that's the thing that happens, is that sometimes that does not happen.
That could be the one that gets you by surprise. It's a great looking book.
Really good.
The whole process is very, very cool.
Yeah, they did a good you know, they did a good job of producing it. I started following him a long time ago on Twitter back in the day, and he's now on Instagram too. And you can kind of see what he does. He does like before and after, and sometimes even has some early film, which is great to see, of cities and people. So
okay, Julia.
Okay, I actually have this one in my hand. So my last one is a bit of a just a sort of like, it's called Seed to Plate, Soil to Sky, Modern Plant-Based Recipes Using Native American Ingredients. And I thought, you know, Thanksgiving, like on the one hand, is my favorite holiday because it's really just about being with people you love and eating good food. And I love to cook. And yet it has this history that I feel kind of, you know, ambivalent towards and a little bit gross about.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm always sort of thinking of ways to sort of like grapple with that as a person who loves Thanksgiving and also sort of hates where it comes from. But this book, what I think is really cool about this book, and it's got these great recipes of like different kinds of like winter squash recipes, recipes just using ingredients from, you know, America and the Americas, and what was here. And, there's tamales, there's all these great things. So I just kind of wanted to give a little nod to that ambivalence that I know some people do feel about Thanksgiving, but to say that this cookbook offers some great recipes and some great ingredients to sort of put together for maybe for your Thanksgiving table, maybe for a different table. The kabocha squash salad is I do love a kabocha squash. It's definitely one that I'm incorporating some recipes into my Thanksgiving dinner from. And something that I don't know, I thought people would like. It's just it's a great cookbook. I've definitely cooked from it and absolutely love it. The chef is a Native American chef, and she is in Santa Fe, based in Santa Fe. So there's a lot of great Southwestern sort of cooking as well. And that's some of my favorite food. So seed to plate, soil to sky.
Love it.
I highly recommend this one. Yep.
Yep, that's a good one for all of the reasons that you said. Okay, so I told you about one other book I'm listening to, and I didn't think I was going to like this book, but I love Mark Helprin, and he wrote one of my favorite books. If you haven't read A Winter's Tale from many, many moons ago,
I remember when that came out in Stone, Julie.
we were chopping on it, chap, chap, chap. Wait, my grays are showing today. It was so good. It's still good. It still holds up. He's got a new book out, and I was just like, I really, really wanted to, I was like, oh, do I want to read this? I don't know. The topic was just like, I don't know if I really want to read this. So I got it on Libro.fm. So I've been driving back and forth up to Orange County. So I just started it maybe over the weekend. It's so good. I don't know how far I'm in because I can't tell with pages, but I listened to it for like maybe 2 hours. I've listened. It's a 21-hour audiobook. So that was going to tell you a little bit about how thick this book is. But it's starting off so fantastic. So if you're in for a big, thick, because Winter's Tale was a big, thick tale. This is really, really good. At first I thought it was good. At first I thought it's like, oh, this is about, old maritime stuff. No, it's modern. It's a modern story. It's about a court-martial that happens. It's about, there might've been a president from a few years ago that he talks about. I mean, there's some parts where you're laughing out loud. It's really good. So if you're looking for something, it's good so far. I mean, I still have 19 hours to go. I'll report.
It's a nice little package too.
It's beautiful. Yeah. But like I said, I wasn't, I didn't look very closely at the Navy ship on there, or I would have known that it was modern, but I was just I was basing it on some of his older stuff. So anyways, so that's it for this week. Everybody's probably going to gather and cook some food and have a Thanksgiving celebration of some type, or, remembrance or whatever,
Is that this week?
I don't know. Is it? I was really surprised. I actually had some publicity people contacting me today. I thought New York would have been closed for sure this week. So it's like, oh, good on you. I guess I have to work today. So next week we'll be getting into the thick of Christmas recommendations. We're starting now, but really got to start, because I think we're also running up against some shipping things that are going to be happening. So you might, for us to actually get books shipped to you and shipped out to people. So keep that in mind. We got some early dates from some of our shipping partners. So anywho, everybody have a great rest of your week. Happy reading. My goal is to read another 2 or 3 books this week, because I got lots of time. I'm posting 14 people though on Thursday. So I think I'm making 12 desserts.
Uh-oh.
Julie.
There's a dessert per person come to my house. I think I will be bringing them to the staff at Warwick's on Friday. Just a heads up. So anyways, happy reading, everybody. See y'all next week. Bye.